Crypto Unqualified.
Good morning. Today is Friday, May 3rd, 2019, and this is Crypto Unqualified, bringing you unique perspectives on everything crypto. My name is Benjamin, and across the table from me is the man who's doing more for blockchain news than the Titanic did for winter cruise tourism. How you doing, Nathan?
I'm sick today. I have a cold. You know that. Leave me alone.
Nathan, he's a little bit under the weather, but we'll survive. We will survive.
We will survive.
I'll survive. I will survive.
So first up is the market overview.
We'll start with the market cap, Benjamin.
Okay, do that.
Our market cap right now, as we speak, at 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, is 185,700,000, which is up about 10 billion from last week. It's looking good. Bitcoin dominance is 55%.
It's good.
Which is up about 1% from last week. Bitcoin in the last 24 hours has gone up about $500.
Before we get too far down the road, I do want to highlight a milestone for us. We have officially, as of yesterday, broken 100 subscribers. Woo! So thank you to
thank you very much.
all of you who have taken the time and showed your support and hit the subscribe button. We really appreciate it. It lets us know how we're doing, and it makes us feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
We haven't got any hate mail either.
No, which is I was actually hoping for some kind of hate mail.
Yeah,
but
I can send you something.
Oh,
yeah,
do that. So a quick shout out to Janos from the TradingView chat, who took a look at the show, decided to hit the subscribe button. Mad props, and to Eric Johnson, who
was our 101.
Yeah, just missed it, buddy. Sorry, this close.
Yeah. Thanks, CJ.
101. So now we're at 102. And just anyway, thank you to everybody. Really appreciate you.
Yes, thank you very, very much.
So let's hit on BlockTivity real quick. I think we skipped BlockTivity last week because of the Tether stuff, so I'll just rattle these off. BlockTivity shows blockchain activity, whether or not blockchain is actually being used and has transaction activity. So number one on BlockTivity this week is EOS. Number two is Tron. Good job, Tron. Number three is BitShares for Steam. Number five is Bitcoin. 6 is Ethereum. 7 is MHC. Do you have...
Tron jumped up to number 2?
Number 2, yeah.
Wow.
Do you have any idea what MHC is?
No idea.
All right, so look that up if you want to. Number 8 is Wax. Number 9 is Telos. Good job, Telos. And number 10, to round out the top, is Kin.
And then moving over to Crypto Miso, which tracks GitHub activity, development of said project. We've got number 1, Hollow, HOT, number 2, ELF, and number 3, Insular, INS.
In the past 12 months, basically same top projects. We've got Insular, Hollow, ZRX, and ELF, with Lisk rounding out the top 5. Good job, Lisk. And that's all commits to their code base, which is basically showing the work behind the scenes.
All right, then moving on to our top 10 coins via market cap. Bitcoin, obviously number 1, up almost 10% at $5,780. Wow. I haven't said it hasn't been that high in a long time.
Yeah.
Anyway, second, Ethereum, $168, Ripple, 30 cents. Bitcoin Cash, $291. Litecoin, $79. EOS, $5.08. Binance Coin, $23. Tether, $1. Blah. Stellar, 10 cents. Cardano, 7 cents. And of those top 10, Bitcoin Cash is up the most at almost 11%, with Bitcoin almost at 10%.
Yeah. So the market is liking things this week and today in particular, and things are rallying. I like to see it. Even if it doesn't agree with, my short-term analysis, like higher time frame, everything should be going up from here. So our price action is just extremely bullish, and I'm seeing lots of different conflicting analysis. So one guy says, expect to see under $5,000 because all of these short positions are going to get liquidated and then it's going to roll over. And then I see other people say it's going to just keep going until $8,000. My analysis over the last couple of weeks is pretty much out the window. I was expecting to see it roll over before it went up to 6,200, and it has just refused to do that.
What do you mean by rollover?
So I expected on a breakout on the daily scale that we would come up and hit the $5,300 level, and then find there's resistance there. Price would sell off to retest support. And we got just the tiniest hint of that. We got resistance at 5,300. It went down. It couldn't get any lower than like just under $5,000 and started rallying strong again. Daily scale is bullish. 3-day scale, just as bullish. And it looks like it's just going to keep going. It's not going to give us our pullback that I was hoping for. And it's going to continue until it hits what was previously support at the $6,100, $6,200 level.
And then what would you expect it to pull back to then?
I have no idea.
Yeah, but if you had the idea.
Dude, if this thing gets legs, I mean, the bullishness on a proper Bitcoin bull run is insanity.
Yeah.
So if it were to pull back, I would expect it to pull back to the support level that we've just kind of created over the last few weeks between $5,000 and $5,400. And if it does not pull back, the next resistance I have is like $8,300.
So you and I were talking about the importance of the halving that's coming up May 23rd, 2020. Can you explain to people that might not know what that is? Just a real quick explanation.
Sure. So Bitcoin, the protocol, it releases a certain amount of coins when miners mine the transactions. They get a block reward, and the block reward is X. Okay. So every certain number of blocks that are mined, at a certain point, that reward gets cut in half. And so I believe the first original block reward was 50 Bitcoin. So people could mine back then just with their home computers, if they had a decent computer, run the node software, run the mining software, and they could potentially get 50 Bitcoin as a block reward. After the first halving, that went to 25.
Wait, you said halving, but I said halvening. Is it halving?
Well, people like to call it the halvening. Just like when Ethereum was on a tear and everybody thought it was going to overtake Bitcoin, they were calling it the flippening.
Gotcha.
Because it was going to flip.
Obviously, that's not a word.
No.
Yeah. So did we made up our own word?
No. It's a people say it.
Oh.
Which is why people that are cool.
I feel like you can say whatever you want these days because with text you shorten everything. I mean, words are being created every day, every minute.
Faux show.
So, anyways, go with it.
So anyway, the Bitcoin halving went from 50 originally, 25
to 12.5, and on the next one it'll be 6.25.
So on the chart that I'm showing on my screen currently is a weekly time scale. This is a log chart of Bitstamp. So what I've got shown here is each halving event with the one that we've got in front of us coming up and where price was a year in advance. Because right now we're a year out from the next halving. And
say what you want.
Okay, so on the last one, our price was 300, a year ahead of the halving. at the halving, halving.
Jeez.
Whatever.
Just say it.
It had doubled. There's a consistency, there's a symmetry to the way that price moves between these events, because what's happening is the amount available is being just reduced by half every single time. It's a half-life, and which makes it more scarce, which drives demand, and we would expect it to, at least as far as price action, we would expect it to behave similarly to how it's behaved in the past. Right now we're a year out. We would expect price to be higher at the halving, and then after the halving event, just like it has the last couple of times, price would rally.
To me, it looks like when I look at the historical chart on the halving, right about a year before the event, there's a gradual uptick, and until the halving event, and then it seems to go straight up.
Yep. So basically, what I'm looking at is just an expectation level based on what we've seen in the past, what we have as far as trend-lined resistance levels, and to help kind of guide what could potentially occur in the future. So on the halving that occurred in November of 2012 to the high, which was about $1,100, that was a gain of 9,000%. That's stupid gains.
So what was the timeline on that again for that percentage?
So basically from 2012 until 2013, it took about a year. It went up 9,000%.
Jeez.
That was $12 up to about $1,100.
And people wonder, how Bitcoin made millionaires. I mean, that's just astronomical.
Okay, so that's stupid money. That's stupid percentage gains, right? Granted. Then in 2016, when we had price at the halving event around $600 up to the next high before it pulled back significantly, that was a gain of over 3,000%, and it topped out at about 19,500-ish, depending on what exchange you were charting it on.
Man.
Okay, so if we were to kind of extrapolate a theory on what could occur with the next one, if we assume that price will be higher at the halving than it is today, I mean, even if it's modestly higher, if we look at it as following the trend line that is underneath us now, and we say, just being conservative, price is at 8,000, and it goes up half as much as it went up on the last one in terms of percentage gains. So at 15, we'll say 1,500%, okay, or just under. We're looking at over we're looking at $130,000 per Bitcoin.
That's almost conservatively going off historically how much it's gone up.
Yeah, and that's not my hope and dream. That's just being conservative based on what it has done in the past. And it actually kind of lines up with an upper boundary trend line, which is connected now the tops of both of the last all-time highs, at the time. So we've got the top of the $1,100 bull run connected with the top of the 19,500, and it projects out, and you can see if price goes up, one would expect when it hits that line, it would be a natural place for it to pull back. And that line, from 2020, if we pull it out a year to 2021, that has us over $130,000. Just saying.
Yeah, that's...
Do with it what you will.
That's exciting.
It's
very
not
exciting.
We aren't suggesting that you buy Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency. We're not financial advisors. We're just looking at what the chart has to show and making our best guess at what to expect.
But using a historical chart to give that guess, I mean, that chart, when I looked at it today, I was actually really surprised.
What did you want to jump to from here?
News.
Okay.
So Eachtrade is an online brokerage firm. They deal with brokerage accounts, retirement accounts, they manage portfolios. They also do small business retirement accounts. So they're getting into the digital asset arm, probably seeing Fidelity, what they've done. They don't want to miss the boat. They boast a market cap of $12.4 billion versus Coinbase's $8 billion and Robinhood's $5.6 billion. So they got twice, almost, well, a bit more than both of those. Eachtrade grew earnings by 17% in first quarter of 2019. Looks like they're going to start out with Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then most likely move on to whatever Coinbase has and some of these other ones.
This is really, God, I mean, every single week we have really positive news, and it's just it almost becomes like banging the drum, right? But that's the phase that we're in now. People are adopting, and you're starting to see that critical mass wheel start to turn, and it's fun to watch.
I wonder, I haven't heard anything out of Warren Buffett lately. I wonder if he's changed his stance at all on Bitcoin and digital currency.
If he has, I don't think he's going to come out and say it.
I don't know. I feel like he would say he was wrong if it came around.
How old is Warren Buffett?
Warren Buffett's in his 80s, and check this out. I read something the other day that he drinks up to 5 Coca-Colas a day and eats McDonald's every day.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
I read a quote from him, and he said that he looked at which lifespan had the least death in it. It was like 5 years old or 9 years old boy or something like that. It was like a 5-year-old, 9-year-old boy.
Mm-hmm.
So he said he's going to mimic his diet after the 9-year-old boy.
That
is it?
I don't think it works like that.
I mean, it's worked for him.
I guess so.
Yeah. So Tether was the big story last week. I think it's still a big story this week. It's still looming out there. Everybody's trying to figure out exactly, how much potential trouble Bitfinex is actually in.
What did we learn new since last week's episode about Tether?
Well, we learned that they absolutely came out that they did not have the backed cash to cover every Tether they had. But what they had done is they had gone in and changed the verbiage on their policy with Tether.
Mm-hmm.
This was some months back to say that not every Tether would be backed necessarily by cash, but by other assets and stuff like that. I think that got added and nobody really picked up on it, but there could have been some trouble back then in regards to this.
No, I remember talking about it in the TradingView chat. Just because Tether's, it's always just been an undercurrent to just the crypto space in general, because it's such a massive entity and has such an oversized impact on Bitcoin price. Because if you can print a digital currency at whim and then use that digital currency to buy Bitcoin with, you can prop up the price of Bitcoin. And if people are using that printable crypto, the Tether, it legitimizes it. So a lot of speculation back then was exactly that Bitfinex was suffering because they didn't have any solid banking relationships. They couldn't get real money in. So they were just printing Tether like crazy and buying Bitcoin with it, skyrocketing the price of Bitcoin, which they still had to help salvage their balance sheet. And so it's always been a topic of conversation.
I mean, we talked about it last week. It's definitely still a big story, but I don't want to. It's not affecting the market as much as you think it would at all. Really,
I think that's the underscore comment. It's not affecting the market. The traders don't care. And just like the people that were investing in other Ponzi schemes, not to say that Tether is a Ponzi scheme, but people will turn a blind eye while profits are rolling in. And the Tether news, while it did force a sell-off, it was so muted relative to the impact that it could potentially have on the blockchain economy and Bitcoin price. People just don't care. It sold off, bounced, boom. Now we're rolling right back into the bull.
I feel like if anything, people are feeling better because they've seen the Attorney General kind of stepping in, and they feel like this is going to get taken care of. You know, like finally the mystery behind Tether is being brought to light with this stance, with the legal action that they're taking.
Yeah, like everybody knew the cockroaches were there. Now
Yeah.
somebody's just shining a light on them.
And even though, I will say this, it might not potentially be as bad as what it was out to be. You know, supposedly Bitfinex had moved this money to this offshore bank account, and for whatever reason, the bank, from what they're saying, won't release their cash to them. I don't know what that's all about.
Yeah.
And apparently, had they had that cash, it would cover all of the Tether. But they did have enough to cover. I think they said like 65%.
And so now it's a situation where, like, how important is it now? Okay, so say a year ago that Bitfinex was close to being insolvent and started printing Tether like crazy to prop up Bitcoin price, which they were able to then capitalize on and recover their balance sheets to in the green again. What does that mean for us now? Yeah, okay, so the cat's out of the bag. Everything that we were speculating about Bitfinex and Tether was true. Who cares now?
Yeah.
Everything's on the up and up. And I think that's the sentiment based on what I see price doing.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I got to say about Tether.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
just
Too much on Tether.
I mean,
there's so much other good stuff to talk about.
So this is new in the news. It's we got Facebook. This coming out of the Wall Street Journal. Facebook seeks reported $1 billion for Facebook coin amid talks with Visa and MasterCard. What do you think about that?
I mean, we touched on the Facebook jump into crypto before, and it's epic. I'm really interested to see kind of what that looks like as an end user product, as a customer facing service. What kind of shape is that going to take?
Interesting that they're trying to partner with Visa and MasterCard for potential support, along with processor First Data Corp.
Yeah, and the reason why they're doing that is the same reason why everybody wants to have a Visa or MasterCard association or a partnership, because they've already got the infrastructure. It's out there everywhere. Everyone takes Visa, everyone takes MasterCard. So if you can get your crypto and get a relationship established with one of these payments processors, so that you can piggyback on their already well-established system, it makes your offering instantly legitimate, instantly usable. So PoonDX is taking the route where they're trying to like roll out their own point of sale system, and they've got an uphill battle. The easier route is just to jump on board with Visa, which means Visa is going to be taking a cut somehow.
Right.
It's maybe not. It's not the ideal decentralized blockchain solution, but that's not always going to be the best solution for everyone.
The thing about it though is I can see why, some of these projects are gravitating towards Visa and MasterCard. Everybody knows what that is. Everyday person knows how to, knows they can use a Visa anywhere. We know that Crypto.com, the MCO, which is formerly Monaco, they've been working on a partnership with Visa in the U.S. It sounds like we covered this on one of our last episodes. They're really close to sending these out and these being used in the U.S. as well via the Crypto.com.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have to pay attention to this Facebook story. We got some new news out of our buddy John Mcafee. Did you hear about his new statement?
No.
Well, he's doubled down. So John Mcafee, I think he said in 2017, if Bitcoin didn't reach $500,000 by, I believe it was the end of 2019, he would eat his own man member.
Wow.
And now he's doubled down, and he said that if Bitcoin doesn't hit 1 million per Bitcoin,
really?
by the end of 2020, he's going to eat his man member, his man plant, his baby maker,
his twig and berries, his frankenbeans.
His thing. His what was that Austin Powers movie? Remember that one? Every time they were gonna say something.
What is that? That looks just like an enormous... Wang! Pay attention.
I was distracted by that enormous flying...
Willie. Yeah. What's that? Well, it looks like a giant...
Johnson. Yes, sir. Get on the horn to British intelligence and let them know about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, did he really double down? I mean, he was going to have to eat his thing anyways, like at the end of 2019. And this is a man that's actually running for the 2020 presidential election. And honestly, he could be a great president. I don't know. He's. I
mean, politics.
He's on the run from the law right now.
If we can swallow a presidential candidate like Donald Trump and everything that comes with him.
Yeah.
Regardless of your leanings, you can say with absolute certainty John McAfee is every bit as intelligent, if not way more so, than a Trump.
They both like Twitter.
I mean, why not? Let's just roll those dice.
Yeah.
The 2020 U.S. presidential candidate's original Visa cryptocurrency debit card is planned to be ready for use at the end of July, McAfee announced yesterday. Other than daily spending limits of Other than a daily spending limit of $2,000, the very first crypto Visa card has no restrictions and will be accepted globally, not dissimilar to a conventional Visa card. McAfee stated, before the end of summer, I hope that all crypto users will be carrying this card and enjoy the fruits of my labor. Initially, the card only accepts Bitcoin, and you can deposit directly onto the card by scanning your Bitcoin address or via QR code on the card. Users can deposit an unlimited amount of Bitcoin and use the card for everyday tasks such as grocery shopping. That would be the first card that doesn't force you to sell into dollars before you can spend. This is just a crypto-loaded Visa debit card.
So it'll deduct from your crypto stash, whatever coin you would deduct from.
They're somehow doing the conversion on the fly behind the scenes. So, what do you want to do? Lightning round or
just real quick. There's not a whole lot more we could cover, but we can do this real quick lightning round and then get out of here.
Okay.
So 68% of all global millionaires already invested or plan to invest in crypto by 2022. Almost three quarters of all millionaires. Does that surprise you?
Plan to invest or are already invest?
They either are already invested or plan to invest. And they're going to have, obviously, more avenues to do that with Fidelity and Backed. Mm-hmm. Now Eachtrade's coming on.
I think it does kind of surprise me. That number is a bit high. I would be curious to know what percentage of those people are currently invest, not planning to. I don't like that they lumped the two of those together, because maybe 10% are actually currently invested, but 68% plan to at some point.
Right.
So that's muddled data. I don't like it.
Well, we don't have to talk about it anymore. Benjamin doesn't like it.
I don't like the words that are coming out of your mouth, son.
All right, fine. What do you got?
I have Litecoin jumps 161% year to date and crosses $80. Litecoin. I thought that it's amazing. These things, they just will not ever die. Somebody will find a use for Litecoin doing something, in the face of all of the other technologies that are way better.
It's got a big community.
It does. And that is a large part of what makes crypto tick.
They want to protect what they want to protect what's made them money. When something makes you a lot of money, it's hard to leave it completely. I'm obviously not a millionaire, but I made a little bit of money off of Neo, and I was pretty in love with the Neo project after that.
And I'm the same way with Lisk. I haven't. Yeah. I'm way underwater on my Lisk, but I'm a big fan of what they're doing, and I really want to support them and their endeavor. They make really awesome products. I would love to see the price of Lisk go up, but I'm not selling my Lisk because I love them.
And because you would sell it for a loss.
Well, also that. So Microsoft launches blockchain AI business tools The Microsoft Corporation announced the launch of new tools intended to allow software developers to easily integrate artificial intelligence and blockchain technology into any business model. Weren't you just saying something about how blockchain needs some kind of like an AI butler, like a Siri or an Alexa?
I think that everybody's always talking about that killer app that's going to bring, blockchain to the forefront to make everybody realize how powerful it is. And I had this idea that that killer app could be like kind of how Jarvis is for Iron Man, like an AI app that you would put all your personal information in. And the more you talk to it, the more it learns about you.
But it's not controlled by a single corporation.
It's not controlled by a single corporation, no. And it's your personal assistant, for some people, maybe even their best friend.
Yeah, that would be really awesome. That'd be really awesome to have.
Like, what if you hypothetically died, but we took all of your information and we put it into this app, and basically we had a digital you?
I would do that in a heartbeat.
Well,
I think a lot of people would.
You'd be dead.
Well, my digital me would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
In somebody else's heartbeat.
I think, it sounds crazy, but it's right around the corner. Maybe not what,
100 years corner?
A piece of it's around the corner.
Yeah.
Do you agree? I mean, do you think that's a possibility? Do you think that would be...
I do.
Even an app, I mean, that would be, it would be just always with you. I guess it would be coming from your phone. If you're in your car,
or whatever. I mean, this is a device that 15, 20 years ago, nobody could foresee, right?
Right.
At least not the way that we use it today, or the impact that it's had on how we exist in day-to-day life. So 15, 20 years from today, this might not be what we use to interact and function online. It might be something like a watch connected to a contact lens. Who knows?
I mean, eventually you won't really have to pick them up and use your hands with them, right? I mean, it'll be somewhere on you. You'll have an implant in your ear or something, and you'll be taught.
Can I have an implant already? Somebody, please? Just put one so I can remember shit.
Oh, yeah.
If I could just go a week without forgetting my wallet.
You forget your wallet that much?
Oh, yeah. At least, I mean, the number of times I leave the house in the morning is not less than 3 before I actually drive out the driveway.
Well, I know we got to get going. So do you want to, is there any more news you want to talk about?
I mean, there's tons of news. If you want to find more news and information, because there's tons of really juicy stuff, just head over to seattlecrypto.com and smash on the news section.
And one of the things I wanted to start talking about, since we do shoot here from the Northwest, the greater Seattle area, is upcoming events in Seattle or just the Northwest in general. This upcoming week, we do have 2 events, and most of these are done via Pacific Northwest blockchain. Eventbrite is a good website to find local events here in Seattle in regards to blockchain. On May 8th, Wednesday, this next Wednesday, May 8th, we've got an event called Beer and Blockchain. That's going to be at Optimism Brewing Company. Looks like Wednesday, 7 to 10 p.m. They're going to be, looks like a meet and greet for anybody that wants to learn about blockchain, wants to learn about wallets, wants to learn about how you can invest in Bitcoin. They're going to be going over, how that can be done for people that are really new to the space. So that's May 8th, this next week. May 9th, Thursday, May 9th, 5:30 to 8 o'clock, we've got an event, TF Blockchain, Seattle Chapter Productizing Blockchain, Episode 3. Let me start over with that. May 9th, we've got an event, TF Blockchain, Seattle Chapter Productizing Blockchain, Episode. Did I say that right again?
I don't.
Is it productizing? Is that even a word? I don't think that's a word. All right. Fuck. All right. May 9th, TF Blockchain, Seattle Chapter, Productizing Blockchain, Episode 3.
Good job.
Get your frustration out.
I think I need food. Probably. I'm starting to crash.
Yeah.
That's it for this week's show. If you like the show, make sure you tell somebody else about it, and make sure you hit the subscribe button so we can keep you up to date on everything that's happening in crypto. And as always, for more information, just head over to seattlecrypto.com.
You can also check us out on Twitter at CryptoKahuna.
And I'm at Crypto Light Show.
That's the show for today.